Hey, Friendly Hollow! Hey, I'm new. I'm with
Belle,
Chloe,
Kitty,
and we're making Gorp with you today. Now, Gorp can also be known as trail mix, and those are the two most common names that you'll hear in North America, which is where we are. Other countries have different names for it, and the ingredients always vary, even depending on person to person. And that's what's fun about Gorp, because you can make it to your own taste, and it doesn't just have to be what everybody else likes. Now, as Girl Scouts, we call it Gorp instead of trail mix. We think that Gorp stands for good old raisins and peanuts, but as you can see in front of us, and really honestly, we put way more than just raisins and peanuts, especially since some of us don't like raisins. So we have to pick other things. The important thing is that you need a mix of protein and sugar. And that way you have long-lasting energy. And this is a great food for a snack or even for a hike. Now, with us putting the little candy pieces in it, it's best if you've had lunch already. So our plans are to eat lunch, because it's actually a little bit early for us, but have some lunch and then take a hike and take our Gorp with us. So, are we ready to see what we need to make our Gorp?
Yeah!
Awesome. Now the first thing is sorry, it's a little windy today. There's a couple of different ways. Now, one way to make Gorp is one big mixing bowl that you can make a whole batch all the same, and that works great if everybody likes everything or people just want to pick out the parts that they don't like. Now for us, we like to use smaller containers that make individual servings, and this is double for us because we just make it straight in the container. We don't have to dirty an extra bowl. We only make the part that we're going to eat, and then we can take the container on the hike with us, and it's a reusable container. So we love that instead of like a Ziploc or a plastic bag. One of those. Now, we were just going to make Gorp in our little containers, and as soon as I told one of my friends that we were making Gorp, she was like, oh my gosh, I want some. Can you make me some too? So, and then another friend heard, so everybody loves Gorp, right? So we're going to make some small individual batches, one for me, one for Belle, one for Chloe, and one for Kitty. And then I'm going to make a bigger batch in the big bowl, and I'll put this in some sort of resealable container to give to my friends so they can have it too. So we have our containers. We will need a mixing spoon. Now, as you may see, this is not a mixing spoon. We're here at the campground, and we only have access to the things that we brought with us in our camper. And apparently the mixing spoon got taken out and never put back. So we're going to use a spatula as a mixing spoon because that's what we happen to have. And then we also have a container to help scoop some of the food out. And this is actually the same size as our containers. So we have that. We have ingredients. We have things like dry roasted nuts for proteins. We have some raisins and dried cranberries, and for natural sugars we have, of course, some candies, and we have the chocolate pieces. We have peanut butter pieces, which also have protein in them, which is great for energy, and then we also have the fruit flavored kind of ones. So it was a fun trick, and Honey put these in there at Dark Hollow, and we loved them so much. She put both of these in that we're doing it again. So, and then, oh, another thing we also want to make sure our Gorp has is some salt in it. And you'll say, wait a minute, salt isn't good for us. But when we're outside and we're hiking and it's hot, salt is actually a necessary, the sodium is a necessary mineral that we need to put back into our bodies. And having something like pretzels or our little different kind of fish crackers are great for adding that sodium back into our bodies so we feel less dehydrated and we're able to absorb our water. So, are we ready to actually make our Gorp?
Yeah!
Awesome. Now for starters, we need to cover our table, and you can see our tablecloth flipping through the breeze. And then we have just washed our hands. Washed our hands, and we came out and got ready to make our Gorp. So, I will be making, it's kind of a thing, I will be making little batches. There's one for Chloe.
Thank you.
There is one for Belle and then Kitty.
Thank you.
And I will have my little batch. And then here's my big batch. So I will ask who wants which ingredients. And we will make sure that, as I said, we don't have too many little pieces of candy because, you know, the candy's great, but that's quick sugar, quick energy, and we're going to feel slow and sluggish really quickly. So you will just see us, and we'll fast forward through this bit so that it doesn't quite seem to take so long. And we'll fill our things with the different things. So, we ready to make our Gorp?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, now we're each gonna put a lid on our container.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now for our little containers, this is the fun part. Now you don't want to fill them quite all the way up. We get to shake them to mix it up so that we don't just have the stuff on the top. So we're gonna shake. Ready? And we're finished. Well, we're finished with that. Now I'm going to, it's going to take me a while to mix, but I would take my spoon and I would mix it. And yes, this is going to be a Gorp for a lot. We'll probably save some of this too. For later in the week, you'll see us with it. Now do make sure that you store any leftover food in an airtight container, a zip top bag, or even a reusable container works really well, and that's really the best choice too because you can wash that and reuse that. Make sure that when you're done, you clean up your mess. And we hope that you had fun making Gorp with us. So we will see you later. Bye!